But when he first started talking to you, I mean, you have been in the business for a while. Did you get the sense that he felt he could charm you? And then as you got in, because so listeners know, and you learn this from the acknowledgments, Pete Rose was talking very candidly to Keith up to a point, and then he kind of, his spidey senses started to tingle, and he bailed out. So did you get the sense in the beginning that he thought he could charm you, and then at some point in the process you realized, wait, this guy's an actual journalist, like a pro. This might not work out great for me, and I'm out.
Well, I mean, about that, I guess I'll say two things. The first is, I mean, Pete Rose, it might surprise people to know, is actually charming.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't have to try to charm people. He just does. And I saw that again and again and again. He has a thing that many of our most famous politicians or actors or pop stars have. He's just got this charisma that is honestly palpable, especially when you're sitting like you and I are right now. So I wouldn't say he tried to charm me. He just, frankly, is
charming.
Is sort of charming when he's in the mood to be. And so he wasn't trying to charm me. And, you know, I was very upfront with him and with the folks who introduced me to him. And they knew because I'd already sat with them for lengthy interviews. You know, my premise here was that, you know, the time was running out for reckoning for Pete Rose. And for everyone else who had lived in this world with him. You know, he's 82, as you said. So are many of his cohorts. You know, many guys in his inner circle are in their 70s. You know, there's that old sports phrase. Doug is day to day with a shoulder injury. Well, you know, I like to say we're all day to day. We don't know what's going to happen. But when you're 82. That is a real and present thing.
No,
and so
funny you say that because even his kids now are our age or older, and I just was informed my doctor, I need a new hip. I've got to get a hip replacement. So Pete Rose's kids, could be getting new joints at this point.
Right. So my premise was just it's a time for reckoning. I felt and still do feel that in his previous books, in particular the ones that he has had commissioned to be written about him, and Pete Rose has had many books to be commissioned to be written about him by writers he hired, were very superficial in the story.
Yours is the book.
And so I wanted to get to that story because, like you said at the beginning, this is almost like a Greek tragedy, and it hadn't been captured before. And so in order to tell that story, well, we're going to talk a lot about the good days and the glory days and the amazing moments, because there were amazing moments for Pete Rose. But we have to talk about the fall. We have to talk about the dark moments. And I did push Pete on those things. And I will say that he told me things and has revealed things that are in this book that have never appeared elsewhere before. Yeah. But we reached a point where it felt like Pete just couldn't go any further. And sometime after that is when he stopped calling me back.
Yeah.